Hi, good evening and welcome to the Board of Directors Council of Crowns meeting for April 15th, 2018. We currently do not have our Secretary Treasurer in attendance. Let's see, are we missing? Doug's here, Robert's here. Everybody's here except the Secretary Treasurer. We only have one item on the agenda that was tabled from the previous meeting. That is something that has to be presented by the Secretary Treasurer. So saying that she's not here, there are no viable topics on the agenda. So with the Vice President's approval, I will cancel this meeting.
Sounds good to me. Approved.
Let's see. Just take a look at a couple of things here real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, then we'll move into our COC meeting. And we've just got a few things on the agenda. We will start with the Kingdom Officer reports. And I know you're not feeling well, but do you want to sum up what you guys have worked on in the last 2 weeks and really be the last 4 weeks and what you plan on working on the next 2 weeks?
Hey there. Sorry, everyone. My voice is a little bit messed up right now. So mid-rains are coming up. So that's been chewing up most of our region's times, and that's kind of where they've been spending their time getting all that lined up. We have another meeting coming up here shortly. So if you guys have questions, and hopefully you guys saw, we've streamed the last few of them. So hopefully folks are keeping up to date with like where things are going there. If you have anything, excuse me, that you ever want us to talk about during those meetings, or cool suggestions for things that should be shared like throughout Northreach with regards to events or ANS suggestions or whatever, let us know, and we're more than happy to just sort of add those an agenda item to the meeting, just like we do with the Council of Crowns, so we can talk about it anyway. And so sort of for the next 2 weeks, it's just the cusp of mid-rain time, you know, so that's where time is going to be spent and focused. We've also got a lot of parks that are going to be either moving, or already have moved outside, or are going to be doing that. So we'll be making sure that, you know, seeing if we can get some cool event scheduled maybe in some of the places for like our first outside party. So.
All right. Any questions for the Kingdom Regent Council?
I'm good.
Okay. Moving on, the Kingdom Prime Minister is not in attendance. Kingdom Champion.
Yeah, hey guys, don't really have a lot to report about. The only thing we've really been working on is the Kingdom Days and the storyline for the Star Wars Reign theme. We just had a meeting last week, I think it was, with the Council of War, and all got on the same page. Everything seems to be going pretty well across the kingdom, and I will have games posted for this coming weekend's Kingdom Day by Wednesday, and that's pretty much what we have been working on and will be working on.
Okay. Do you need anything for the Kingdom Day? You guys all squared away?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I don't think I need anything. If something comes up that I think of between now and when I post games, I will PM you, but I think I'm good.
Okay, when are you guys have got this you spent the last couple of months working on the questing thing. When is all that supposed to start?
We're basically just waiting for approval from the COC for that to be used. And then that's just a book that'll be out for local parks to use with their questing as they want to do it. I'm not sure when everyone wants to start questing, but we can do that anytime as soon as every park is outside, really.
Okay. Is there anybody on the COC that has any issue with the questing rules that the Kingdom Champion provided?
These are the rules. Galaxy, the Star Wars Astro Ventures.
Yeah.
Okay, and can I start that after mid-rain? Because I was under the impression I was starting it after mid-rain.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
We can set a launch date for right after the mid-rains and make that a thing. Absolutely.
I thought that was the thing, though. That's
I don't know that one had been discussed so far. That book was
okay.
basically just made because there were a lot of concerns raised by the field officers, the old Astral Adventures, and so that was just made to make it Star Wars friendly and change a few of the concerns that were brought up. I don't know that we discussed a initial release date, but I have zero problems with it being after mid-rain.
Oh no, I'm not trying to rush anyone. That's just what I was. That's what I thought was happening. Okay. Sorry.
I have a question, Lucian.
Yeah.
So you talked about like addressing some of the concerns that folks have with the original Astral Adventures. Could you like just really briefly like give us a couple of bullet points on like what's better about this version, so that for folks that have played it before, when we bring back to the parks, we can talk about that?
Yeah, there's really not a lot of changes. About the only big change that was made was the biggest concern that was brought up is that by the time we start questing, there will only be about 3 months left in this reign. And with Astral Adventures, you gotta do some quests to make gold so that you can buy your equipment. And a lot of people felt that there wasn't enough time to get enough equipment to make that worth it. So what I did in this one was I gave each class a sort of starting equipment. So you still get your starting money as well as this equipment. It just kind of jump starts the getting your full gear track so that we can get everything faster. The other big thing was that it wasn't felt that Astral Adventures fit Star Wars very well, which is why everything has been reskinned and renamed, and the whole book is called Galactic Conquest rather than Astral Adventures. But for the most part, the two books are very similar. There isn't really a lot of new content.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, anybody else got anything for the champion? Okay, does anybody, again, are there any issues with approving the rule book that they posted?
I have faith in our champion and our Council of War.
Any dissent, so you guys are free to move forward with that.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
See, our Guildmaster of Reeds popped in, so it's his turn. Richter, what has your council worked on in the last 4 weeks since you were here at the last meeting, and what are you working on in the next 2 weeks?
So you can hear me all right, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. What we've been working on is ensuring that the stability of the Reeves test, the online Reeves test and Kapora test have been working without flaw. I've been having a report from each park as to how they're pushing for the Reeves test to be given and hyping up the Reeves test because, well, I mean, we need our Reeves. We need people to not be burned out. I've been working on having our Guildmaster of Reeves keep active eyes in the field and checking for just having a second pair of eyes to look for fairness, to look for people adhering to rule sets and following rules, and assisting the champions in their duties. I've been working with Lucian, and it's actually been a little bit more lax with working with Lucian lately, since we've already come up with the book and got the Galactic Conquest built. But up until that point, we were working with him and getting ideas and magic items and making sure the magic items were fair to be used on the field without overpowering anything. But pretty much other than that, it's been the Reeves tests. That has been a very strong point in what we've been focusing on.
Okay. Any questions or comments for the GMR? Okay. Let's move on to the Guildmaster of Engineers then.
So I have a list and prices on everything I need. I just need a place to put it. Richter has offered up his storage shed as a means to store, and we could possibly do construction there. The money that I had set aside to just front the money and just pay myself back ended up getting put in a new car, so that was a minor hiccup, but we will be getting things ordered up and underway here this coming week.
Okay. How goes the construction plan?
Construction plan's pretty simple. Anybody who has time might use up ANS nights. I've had several people offer up assistance on top of our regents in Loop and Moon and Ravenstone willing to help out. So we'll start getting materials distributed as needed, and also we're going to be handling stuff for Ren Fair. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're gonna tie in stuff for our arena with stuff for sale, and hopefully try to get a better price. Also, once again, if anybody wants to make an order on, say you need to get your loaner bin redone, let me know as soon as possible, and I will put that in with the order. And we'll make sure all the budget works out, but we should be able to get a little bit off the overhead by making a large order all at once.
Okay. So I'm looking at the calendar here, and I may need to ask for a more detailed plan. That we have 6 weeks until the Ren Fair. And we need approximately 600 swords ready by then. So, when do you plan to have materials?
I'll be placing my order tomorrow. I'm not getting any answers back from the Alaska installation supply, so I'm gonna go down there in person tomorrow after work and see what the hell's going on. And other than that, we'll just get. We'll get our PVC cores from Home Depot. It's the cheapest there is. It's when you're buying at the level that we're buying as far as quantity goes, we'll get 10 feet for like $2.17.
Right.
And so we'll need about 2,000 feet worth of that, and probably about 4,000 feet worth of foam, and then several hundred yards of fabric. That's going to be the most time consuming thing is making covers.
Right. You probably only need about you only need 2 feet per sword, so you only need 1,200 feet of foam. So don't buy 4,000 feet of it, not yet anyway. And I mean, unless you're trying to buy everything at once, but that might be challenging to store. Okay, so what days of the week do you plan on doing the bulk of the construction? You guys looking to do it over the weekends? Hello, did you hear me? Hunter, you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, so as far as construction goes, I can't remember where the next Loop and Moon ANS is. If it's at Joanne's, we can dap. If not, I'll be hitting up Ravenstone ANS, see if we can get these things together. Like I said, the hardest thing to do is going to be getting all the covers sewn up. So as soon as we can get as much fabric as we can, honestly, we'll start getting covers sewn up, because the sword goes, after the cover's done, the sword goes together in 3 minutes.
Okay. Could we maybe get a weekly report on where you're at?
Yes.
What would be the best day of the week to get information on what you've accomplished for the week?
Sundays.
Sundays? Okay. So that gives you, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 reports, six Sundays between now and the Ren Fair starting. So yeah, if you could give us a report of just how many swords you have finished, how many swords you have in various stages of completion, etc. Where and when you're doing construction, and what sort of staffing or manpower resources you have committed already, so that we can try to pitch in and help out wherever we can. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Any questions for the Guildmaster of Engineers? All right. So the next thing, item number 3 on the agenda, is the dungeon crawl walls and a permanent storage solution. So Hunter, the walls got moved and stored behind Drake's Dojo. Is that my understanding?
Yes, that has been handled this evening. A big thanks to everybody who helped, Cuddleisle and Dracek and Drac and Gideon. They all chipped in and helped out, and it was major help. So thanks to those guys.
Are those just stored like in a pile in the open, or what is the status of those?
Right now they're sitting behind the center, or Alaska Center of Martial Arts, just kind of out in the open. Might be worthwhile to find a more secure location. Not that I think anybody's going to bother taking off with that stuff, but you never know. And it might be worthwhile to try to get them out of the weather too. So,
right. Well, we're starting to accumulate a decent supply of like Amtgard or Northreach owned stuff. So it would probably be in the organization's best interest to start looking at some sort of permanent storage solution. So I'm unfortunately, like, storage units, at least in the Anchorage Valley area, are pretty expensive. And over the course of a single year, we would probably spend enough money to buy our own container if we wanted to look into something like that. But I guess I just kind of wanted to start the conversation and see what you guys thought about that.
we'd have to look into some storage options. Ideally, if we had a really big trailer, like a toy hauler, people put eight dirt bikes or snow machines in, that'd probably be pretty ideal. We could store everything, and it's just portable. You hook it up to a truck, and you can go bring these things where you need to go.
Right.
I don't know how much a trailer storage is per month or per year or whatever it might be, but I think that would probably be the most functional means of storing our stuff.
Yeah, if we had if we had a trailer or something like that, it would probably be pretty easy to find somebody willing to let us just park it. Because it wouldn't be, a giant mess or inconvenient or anything. It's as inconvenient as just, like, say, a pile of stuff, right? Toy haulers are fairly expensive, unfortunately.
Would it be a good idea to spend about maybe a week looking into some different options so that we can compare and contrast and see which one would be the best for us?
We can do whatever we want. We can definitely take a look around. I know I've done a little bit of looking into Connex trailers, which are just the shipping containers, the big metal ones. And they're not very expensive compared to like a trailer or something. The 20-foot ones are, I don't know, like anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000, and the 40-foot ones are like $3,000 to $5,000.
How expensive is it to get one of those hauled somewhere if we wanted to?
I mean, it would probably cost us a few $100 to have it moved once. But I mean, those are they're pretty standard shipping containers. Like that's what people use to move stuff all the time, and so they have trucks that are built to move those specifically, so it's not too much of a hassle. But I mean, we might be worth looking into one of those, because if we could, for a couple $1,000s, have like a permanent, 10-foot by 40-foot space, that could be a pretty good way to do stuff, and we could put everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
How feasible is it to, like, if we had one of those, is it just kind of like a everything just gets set in there, or like is that something that we could feasibly actually put like shelving in and have things organized?
Buy gorilla racks and you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
You can live in a Connex, man.
Yeah,
like Connexes are sweet.
They really are. And one of the things, they're fairly inexpensive here simply because they ship more containers up here than they ship back. I mean, they can't fill them up when they send them back. They got to ship them back empty. So sometimes it's cheaper to just sell it than it is to ship it back empty. So I mean, they're all over the place up here. You can build houses out of the things, man. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, the council should probably just look into it a little bit. I think the DC walls are probably safe for the short term. But I think before the end of the summer, before we go into winter again, we should probably have some kind of permanent storage solution for all of our Wolf's Cry stuff and our Dungeon Crawl stuff and just all the stuff that we've accumulated, so that we can have a storage place for that. It may not be a bad idea to even look for regional storage solutions in Kenai and even in Fairbanks, to just sort of look into it and see what's out there, how much it costs, etc. Because you guys might have cheaper, just regular old like storage that might be worth looking into. So, any other thoughts on that?
It's gonna be pretty sweet when I got a stomping ground, so we don't got to worry about that. Mm-hmm.
We'll get there hopefully one day. All right. The next thing is Kingdom Day. That's this weekend. Yay! So everybody talk to their parks about Kingdom Day this weekend?
I did, but I'm not a very good hype man, according to you. And I don't blame you for saying that one bit, because I was pretty out of it yesterday.
That's fair. Pros and Coats, did you guys talk about it yesterday or today?
Yeah, I brought it up and bring it in.
Were people excited?
I can
drag your crew up here? All right.
I'm hoping to.
What about Ravenstone?
Yeah, we talked about it. Scheduling means, unfortunately, I can't be there, but I'm going to try and send everybody else in my stead.
Oh, man. I was looking forward to some Dave & Buster's with you.
It's pre-release weekend, so I'll be lucky if I make it to regular games.
That's fair. What about Astro Winds? You guys talk about it at all?
I talked about it during the middle of the day when I saw it. I told the core members, the ones that were capable of traveling, but I don't think everyone heard it. I'll make an announcement on my webpage.
Okay.
Is there like a piece of tape on that guy's camera? That's pretty sweet.
No, he just smokes a lot.
Okay, that's it.
It's actually it's just a miasma.
My air of mystery. Come on.
All right. Let's see. All right. So Kingdom Day again. It's going to be in Lutheran Moon this weekend, and we're going to go to Dave and Buster's afterwards.
Dave and Buster's. What?
1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Right?
Yes, sir.
They definitely have killer burgers there at Dave and Buster's.
Plus, they got magic wands that you can use for your video games.
Is Kingdom Day going to be inside or outside?
Inside.
It's gonna be inside. We're not moving outside until the middle of May. I know that sucks with as nice as it's been, but that's what we've planned on because you never know. We could get 6 inches tomorrow. Well, we're not probably not, but you never know.
Yeah, well, we'll look at that. Let's see. Well, that's a good segue to our next topic of discussion. Moving outdoors. So, has everybody scouted their outdoor locations? Has anyone not scouted their outdoor location?
I have not. I've been watching, little dips here and there within Anchorage, and I still see there's a little bit of snow on the ground. And usually it takes a couple weeks after the snow's gone for it to dry up well enough to play. So I'll probably start checking it this next week or the week after that.
Yeah,
Anchorage seems like it stays a little bit wetter.
It's pretty great right now. Everybody should have members put a post on your Facebook page. Have members go out and check your outdoor sites. Check it for whether or not there's snow still on the ground, whether or not the grass is still like super wet and spongy. Get some pictures posted, whatever. Get people paying attention to that because for the organization, we want to move outside as soon as possible. We want to stop spending money on indoor sites if we don't have to be indoors. So
Yeah.
the responsible thing is to move outdoors as soon as possible.
I have been checking out the park here in Kenai, and we're actually moving outside next week because it is nice and almost dry.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been like 60 degrees here this weekend. It's crazy. But yeah, the rest of you guys, make sure that you're keeping an eye on your parks, and let's move outside as fast as we can.
Yeah, there's still like a foot of snow at my place.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Coco, you guys are going out next weekend?
Yep.
Ooh.
And I think Ice Fire Bay moved outside in like January.
Move inside? Right. All right. With mid-range coming up, we can chat about it in detail in the closed session if you guys want to. But please keep in mind to let me know if you guys need any Kingdom level awards or considerations so that I can help support you guys in that. Everybody been thinking about awards? Are we gearing up in that direction?
Yep.
We're working towards it.
Sweet. Don't be afraid to post the award recommendation link to y'all's pages and engage with your members. Get everybody's eyes on it. And get some good awards drawn up. All right. All right. So Crown Qualls Committee. I started writing the post for looking for volunteers for that, and as I started typing out the sort of what the intent and scope of the committee and stuff was, I realized that I didn't have as clear of idea on that as I thought I did, and so we hadn't discussed it a whole lot. So I wanted to chat with you guys one last time to make sure that I was writing it up the way that the council wanted it done. So I'll I want to make sure I know what it is you guys want from the committee.
For the most part, I think if they do research basically into what our crown quals are and what purpose they've served, and then alternatives not to like then find alternatives to serve that same purpose. So trying to come up with the words for what I want. Like I think it's beneficial to look at processes for vetting our officers that could be completely different from crown quals, as well as things that might be somewhat similar and just slightly different. So I think this committee, I think they should probably be focused on looking at a wide range of things in detail so that they can get as much information as possible so that we don't have to revisit this later and that we can have the best possible solution.
Else have any thoughts on that? Okay. So what I've got on here, I made some notes on our agenda. So we want the committee to identify the current crown qual processes and identify the purposes for those processes, i.e. what they're supposed to achieve. Look into potential alternatives that serve the same purpose, and explore alternatives from a clean slate position, meaning it's okay to like wipe the slate clean and start from scratch and say, how else can we achieve those ends? I would like them to identify the process used by all the other kingdoms, and then to put all their findings into a report for us. Does that sound right? Yes, no?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I just wanted to sort of check on that because and that sort of goes along with what I was thinking, but for some reason I thought there might be some, there might have been some confusion on it, and that it might have been the position of some people on the council that the purpose of the committee was to rewrite crown clause and present like a new alternative language for the bylaws rather than just exploring ideas, which is where I was, and so I just wanted to clarify that before I made any public posts. So if we're all on the same page, then I will try to get Oh, go ahead.
Do we want them to provide possible solutions, or do we just want them to give us information?
Me personally, I want information, and then we can task them with additional. We can give them additional tasks after that point.
Okay.
Because the position that we have will be based heavily on what information they find. So I don't want to set them off onto another task that is not where we want them to go based on the information that they uncover. So I figure research first and then action later. Okay. Any other thoughts on the Crown Quals Committee? I'll get that posted up tonight then. All right, we're going to move on to autocrat updates then. Solstice War. What's going on with Solstice War?
A part of it at least. So I have not been able to get a hold of anyone from the LDS Church. None of the folks are responding. So Amelia is looking into an alternate site that she had identified, and Puppet may have more information on that. But we're trying to find an alternate now. Well, yes, folks, and last year they, I think, waited until like 2 weeks beforehand to finally give us the paper we had to sign for them, because they seem to not take it super seriously. But we want to make sure we have a backup plan lined up.
Okay. Now there's 2 fields there. One of them's owned by UAF, right?
Right. Well, the much bigger side, like on the right as you come in, is actually owned by the University of Alaska, like the statewide system.
Mm-hmm.
And the left part of it is owned by the Mormon Church.
Are we able to move forward through UA?
We can definitely reserve that space, but it's much more expensive. It's going to cost us like $700, and they will not let there be like alcohol consumed in that space.
Oh, damn it.
So
okay.
Not gonna lie, that's kind of why I love Solstice Wars.
Yeah.
I was just gonna give you guys $5. I was like, I'll buy it, and then you said no alcohol, and I was like, oh, that defeats Solstice Wars.
Okay. We need to get. I mean, obviously, in order for members to have the best chance of attending, we need to get information and tickets and stuff online as soon as possible. So, I guess, look into the Plan B, and then continue pinging the LDS and see if you can get a hold of those folks. It would be ideal if we could secure the same site. That worked really well. But if we need to move on to something else and see what we can find. Another place that you could look at that we used once before was there's a Lions Club, like sort of camping facility. I think it's in North Pole, and next to it is a giant horse field. And I've held an event there once. I can't remember if it was Solstice War or a mid-rain. But like we built a giant village out in the horse arena place or horse pasture. So they might let us camp and stuff out there. It's privately owned, that part of it, so you'd have to like go knock on a door and talk to them. But I could try to locate it on a map and show it to you, Josh.
Do you mean the Elf's Den?
I could have sworn it was Lions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look into it some more and send it to you guys, but that might work. And they have a nice big like feast hall and stuff. The SCA has done their stuff there before.
Lions Den Youth and Track.
It might be. The other thing too is I can have Hadeland reach out to any horse people out there that might have like just huge fields that they would let us just camp in.
yeah, I mean that would be super awesome. I know last year I spent a bunch of time on like Google Maps trying to find like fields like that, and then looking on like the Bureau of Land Management site to track down like who owned them and all that stuff. And but that would be much easier if she just knew people.
I'll see what she's got. She might have something. But let's keep pushing for the same site because that was a good one.
The hardest part is nailing the site. But once we nail it, it's going to be, I'll hit it with as much manpower as I possibly can, and it'll turn out great.
Yeah, I mean, luckily the event is pretty low maintenance. Like it doesn't require a lot beyond getting the site reserved. But we need to get that site and ticket prices and stuff online. I mean, ideally this week. But let's just see what we can get done. Any questions from the council for the Solstice War autocrats?
I know one of the biggest like attractions of Solstice Wars, or at least for me, has always been the presence of some of the best fighters in all of Amtgard, Sword Knights. Last year we had Peter the Quick Up. I was wondering if you guys had any plans to bring in some foreign expertise, the likes of which Northreach has never seen.
Sir Brett? I've been in contact with Sir Brett, and once I have the date, I'm going to buy his ticket personally. And he said he wanted to come, so hang on, I'll get his picture.
Yeah, and for folks that are are into fighting, like you may hopefully already know who Meret is. But he's also been pushing really hard the last like 6 months, or maybe it's been a year or so now, doing a lot of really cool like instructional content and stuff like that on Facebook and YouTube. So like surrounding fighting and sort of like a theory behind it. He's also taught at SKBC a bunch of times. He's a sword knight, warlord. Like he's as legit as they come.
Okay, any other questions for the autocrat?
I don't know how well this is going to work, but that would be his. Dang it! Hang on. His name is Brett Skinner.
Okay. Let's see. I may have goofed up a little bit. I did not extend an invitation to the meeting to Kraken. I meant to, but it slipped my mind. So when he's not available at the moment for us to ask him how things are going, I will contact him offline and ask him to shoot us a quick update on what we're doing for the Ren Fair. And Hunter, let's see, you just stepped away. Are you back, Hunter? It's the same. We'll get a quick update on how things are going for Wolf's Cry. Or we can circle back to that if he's stepped away for a moment.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
Emergency. So as far as Wolf's Cry goes, I've attempted to make contact with the State Fairgrounds. Is Sherry a good contact there, or should I be looking for somebody else? You did this last year, so I'm asking you.
Sherry is our super Sherry Musgrave.
What's that?
You're with Sherry Musgrave?
I don't know what the last name is. The email I was pointed to on their website was... Where is the info on this? It is just Sherry with an I,
Okay.
alaskastatefair.org.
That's her. And yes, she is the point of contact. She is super amazing, and you treat her very, very nicely.
Absolutely. I wrote her a message saying I basically want to run things how we did last year. It's going to be the same thing. And, what do we need to do to reserve that spot, make sure it's good to go. Beyond that, once we get the site all settled, I've already picked out a Warcrat. So Blue will be running our games, which I'm really stoked on, and I'm sure that he's really stoked on too, because I know he was wanting to do that.
Awesome.
We're gonna be. Ray's gonna be running our Assassin's game again,
Okay.
and beyond that, we gonna need so if anybody wants to take charge of putting up the castle, that'd be fantastic, and some lot of interest in foodocrats this year, or feastocrats. So we'll see what we can come up with, if we can all get together and work together on that, or if we need to pick somebody specific to handle all that. And as far as what else did I need to... Yeah, we'll see if we need to set up a price for vendors, or if vendors can just set up, or whatever we need to do. Beyond that, that's basically where I'm at.
Okay. I'd like to see tickets online and flyers with event details and stuff. Ideally by the end of the month, if you can do that.
I will claw my way through all of this.
Okay.
Nicely.
Feel free to reach out. I can shoot you, samples of all the flyers that I've made for any of the events that I've done. I keep all that in my Google Drive, so I've got it handy. And show you ticket prices and all that stuff from previous years, so that you can figure out how you want to do it with that knowledge. But I'd like to give people, especially people out of state, because that's the event people talk about coming to all the time. We can give them a good 3 months to plan, and that's better than nothing. And then what I really want to see from everybody, really from Northreach in general, is to start seeing these events be planned out, more and more in advance, ideally a year in advance. So, like Puppet, when you find out, or Minibart, when you guys finally get a hold of LDS, secure the event for next year, like right then and there. And same thing, I believe that I've already reserved the State Fair site last year when I wrapped up Wolf's Cry last year. I tend to try and do that. But that's a habit we should get into, and then we should be trying to appoint our autocrats around the same time, so that we can give people, 9 months or even a full year's notice of these events, so they can make plans to be here. That's the next step, right?
That's a good step. But as far as the site goes, you said you already lined it up for this year. Do you remember what you guys agreed to, or if any agreement was made?
No, I have a pretty informal relationship with Sherry. She's worked with me on every single Wolf's Cry since Wolf's Cry 2, as well as the Streets and Dungeon Crawl, every state fair. So we've worked together a lot. And at the end of the event, I believe I told her that we wanted to be put on the calendar for that weekend, sort of in perpetuity, just every year, pencil us in for that weekend. So she shouldn't have scheduled anybody else at that time.
All right, sounds good. I'll hopefully I'll hear back from her tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll start reaching out a little bit harder.
Yeah, she's usually pretty easy to get a hold of if you try calling her during their business hours, or if you shoot her an email. She's a super nice lady. She's taken really good care of us in the past, so she's fun to work with.
Excellent. I'm actually I'm glad you said that, because now I'm looking forward to working with these people. I was afraid it was going to become a little bit tedious.
No, she's the one that she hooked us up with, like, all those picnic tables and chairs and everything last year, and she's super great. So make sure you let her know exactly what it is we need, and she will generally take care of us. All right. Let's see. Anything else from the council for the Wolf's Cry Autocrat? Okay. Does anybody else have anything for the open session before we move into closed session? All right. Then with that, thank you all you folks at home who have been sitting through our meetings and paying attention. I really appreciate you being involved and knowing what's going on and educating yourselves. At this time, I'm going to pull the count.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.